I'll ask you for it. I got it. Okay.
Thank you. We're back on the record outside the presence of the jury. Any issues to take up before we bring the jury back in?
I just have a question. I've got some evidence that I'm going to try to get in through Amanda. She's never talked to us. She's refused to talk to us. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in to have her authenticated. The question is, do you want me to, or can we turn the screen off and could she view the evidence? What I'm worried about is putting something out there for the jury if she can't actually identify. It's a photograph or a couple of photographs. And
well, we
essentially,
can.
I need to get her to authenticate it. I don't know if she can or cannot. I'm reluctant to.
My suggestion is put it. There's two ways to do it. You can either do it the old-fashioned way, hand it to her, she can look at it, authenticate it up or down, or there's a way that we can put it on the court presenter so that it's on her monitor but not published yet to the jury.
What I'll do is I'll just hand it to her and I'll ask her.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a lot easier than having to do this. We'll do the low-tech way.
All right, and have you all looked at the Circle K video? Anything else you want to say about that on the record?
No, Judge. I just wanted to be sure I knew what portions were going to be shown. I've seen it all before.
Okay. All right, we can bring the jury in.
All rise for the jury, please.
Welcome back. Everybody can be seated. Did the jury follow the admonition during the lunch break? Good. Thank you very much. Ben, will you do me a favor?
Yes.
Will you come up and let's try and move that monitor again? Is there any way you can move it so it faces more directly towards me? Or are we out of
Very
the
low. Or like
That's perfect. Okay. All right. Colin, if you'll come back up. Thank you. And see, you are still under oath, and the Commonwealth is still asking you questions.
And Judge, right before we broke, we were moving to introduce the videos from the Circle K.
And subject to our discussions at the bench,
And that would be...
I'm going to let you
Number 91
present it
perhaps?
to her,
Okay. Are we on 91?
92.
And I will need the screen to be on the video.
Oh, I need something. Recharging my iPad. And this is from your computer.
Yes. Which is 2A. That's correct. Thank you. All right, Ms. McFarland, if I can direct your attention to the video, and I'm about to play it. Do you see yourself and Josh Gallagher walking in back then?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that you all walking out?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the Circle K
Yes,
by your
ma'am.
house? What road is it on?
Preston Highway.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to pull up another video. Is that the register from the Circle K?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that you in the upper left corner?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Josh Gallagher next to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves to admit that as Exhibit 92.
Subject to our discussions at the bench introduced into evidence.
I'm finished with the screen. Thank you. After you all went to the Circle K, what happened?
We went back to my house.
And what did you do when you got home?
We were intimate again.
At any time that night, do you recall him filming you all being intimate?
With my phone, yes, ma'am.
And was that before or after you went to the Circle K?
I don't recall.
Did you all go to sleep that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Who fell asleep first?
He did. Joshua Gowker.
Do you recall what time?
It was pretty late. I'm thinking between about 1, a little bit after 1.
Okay. What did you do after he fell asleep?
I flipped through the TV channels looking for something to watch,
And did you watch TV?
just for a few moments.
And what happened after you flipped through the channels?
He was snoring. Josh Gowker was snoring. I went ahead and turned the television off and laid down myself and went to sleep.
Okay. When you woke up, what time did you wake up?
Early that morning, I didn't look at the clock. I was woke up by a noise in the bathroom. I assumed it was my son getting up and getting ready for school.
What kind of noise?
Just rumbling around in the bathroom. Normal. Moving like possibly the toothbrush or opening up drawers for hairbrush or just normal noises that would come from the bathroom as someone's getting ready.
Was Josh Gallagher in the bed with you at that time?
I'm not aware.
So when you woke up in the morning, are you saying that he was out of the bed?
During the time that I was disturbed from my sleep, hearing noises in the bathroom, I didn't fully get out of bed or wake up or even go investigate. I just heard the noises, maintained in the same position, and returned to sleep.
Okay, so there was another time when you
Yes,
woke up
ma'am.
for good. What time do you think you woke up for good?
It was time for my daughter to get up and go to school for that morning. The alarm goes off. I go to get up.
What time? Sorry to interrupt, but what time does the alarm go off?
About 7:30.
Okay.
So I can turn the alarm off, and he bends over me and says, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to put her on the school bus for you today. Just stay in bed." I was awake, and I did stay in bed for a little bit. Eventually, after Mackenzie came in to give me a kiss goodbye for the day, went on and got on the school bus, and then eventually I made my way out of the bed, took a shower.
What was the normal morning routine for your children?
Trey would wake himself up. He would start getting ready. I would usually get up as he's getting ready to walk out the door 10, 15 minutes before he would leave, I would start my daily routine. Starts in taking a shower. After I took a shower, I would get dressed. Trey would be walking out the back door to go to the school bus stop. And after I got myself together, I would wake Kenzie up and get her together, put her on the school bus, and then I'd be off to work.
What time did Trey typically wake up?
About 6:30,
What time did you typically wake up?
6:45.
Okay. You said Kinsey would wake up at 7:30, I believe?
Mhm.
Okay. Just a second, please. What time did Mackenzie's bus come?
I believe it was like 8:15.
And you said you stayed in bed a little bit after she left for the bus.
Mhm.
Where did the bus pick her up?
Directly in front of our home.
Where was Trey's bus stop?
Down the street, Cleo Avenue.
Did Josh Young sleep at your house?
No, ma'am.
Where did he sleep?
1360 them drive.
And I don't mean just that night. Did he ever sleep at your house?
He has stayed once, maybe twice. One time his dad was arrested, and his dad told him that he was to stay the night at my house. And then possibly, I don't recall, but there could have been one other occasion when he first started doing overnight visits with his father.
From May 8th, when you all started talking again, to May 11th, did Josh Young sleep at your house?
Never, not one time.
After you woke up that morning, what did you do?
The morning of May 11th,
Yes.
I took my shower. I got ready for the day, sat around in the living room until Josh Galker suggested that we go feed the ducks at
Okay.
McNeely Lake.
So that you testified to earlier about going to McNeely Lake occurred on May 11th.
Yes.
And let me actually just make a timeline so that this is more clear. Okay. We have May 8th is a Sunday. You said that was the day that you started talking to Galper again?
Yes, ma'am.
And was Trey with you on the 8th?
He was actually at work, and I went and picked him up.
Was it your week to have Trey?
Sunday started my week.
All right. I'll just go ahead and write all the days on here before we move on. Okay, so May 11th is the day that Trey was found at Liberty. What day did you have your first cookout at Cassie's?
May 8th.
What day did you quit McDonald's?
May 9th.
And then May 10th was the day of the cookout at your house, correct?
Yes, the cookout where my brother attended and the kids played ball.
Okay. What day did you go to McNeely Lake?
May 10th. No, I'm sorry, May 11th.
And is that the day you and Galver looked at a house?
Yes, ma'am.
And he told the landlord you had 2 kids?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was there a time from in this period, where Gowker spent a significant period of time at Cassie's house?
The night after the cookout, he went over there claiming to get a change of clothes, toothbrush. He did spend a little bit of time. We text back and forth. He was 2 doors down. I could see his back porch from my back porch where I was sitting. Together, he asked me to remain on the porch. He took a long time inside the house. I opened up Cassie's front door, and someone pushed it shut on me real hard. So I was aggravated by that. I started to head home. Josh Gowker come running out the door, apologizing, trying to hug and kiss on me and apologize for slamming the door shut. He considered it rude of me for entering their home without knocking first. He was trying to playfully wrestle, makeup, kind of kissing and hugging on my neck. I got aggravated with it. During this, we're walking from Cassie's to mine. By the time we make it to my front of my house, it was pretty much ended.
Was there also a time in this period where there was an incident with you and Gowker sitting in the car, where you saw Josh Young?
There was a moment when we were sitting in the car listening to the radio. My kids were in the bed.
And do you know what night this was?
I'm unsure if it was the 10th or the 9th. I just recall the situation. Josh Young had snuck from his home and was able to make it to my back porch without triggering the floodlights, the motion detector lights. He snuck up to the car. His father was on the passenger side. I was on the driver's side, and he spooked his father. And Josh Gowker was proud of him and made the comment.
Yes, come on.
Based on an observation of Gowker?
He said it.
Okay.
He was proud of his son, Josh Young, for being able to manipulate the situation enough to get over to the car without triggering the lights and was able to spook him.
I want to ask you about the front door of your house. Was it broken?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did it break?
When I bought the home, it was that way.
Okay. What effect did the brokenness have on your all's ability to go in and out the front door?
You could go out the door. You unlock it from the inside, go out the front door, and if you shut it behind you, it locks, and you can't unlock it from the outside.
During the nights after the Circle K, May 10th into May 11th, after you fell asleep, can you say whether or not Gowker stayed in the bed the whole night?
I can only tell you what I do know. And what I know is he was present until I fell asleep sometime around 1 to 1:30.
Who had cell phones in your household?
I had a cell phone in my name. I provided a cell phone for my son in my name, and Josh Gowker had a phone.
Did all of you always have your own cell phones with you?
I always kept my phone with me unless Josh Gowker needed it because his son, Josh Young, would have possession of his phone. The only time Young would have possession of Gowker's phone is when the two were not together.
So sometimes Gallagher had your phone.
He would use it in my presence if he needed to make a phone call. He would never leave my residence. He could go in a different room, but no, he would not leave the residence with my phone in his possession.
Okay. And I think you testified earlier that there was one time he had Trey's phone.
Yes, ma'am. He would borrow my son's phone occasionally.
The ditch bank where Trey was found, was that a place that people from the neighborhood would frequently go to?
They traveled the ditch bank to go to the high school. The high school was, for generations, a place where the neighborhood kids would go and play.
Okay. When you were a kid, did you play in the ditch bank?
I played at the schoolyard. We explored down there as young children just to see what was down there in that tunnel. But that's when we were extremely young, like 9, 10 years old. My son was already aware of the ditch bank. I don't see him exploring it at
Judge.
14.
I'll move on.
Objection.
Sustained. Are you using the term ditch bank, B-A-N-K,
Yes, sir.
like the bank of the ditch?
Is that what you all called it?
The ditch bank, the land above the ditch, the grassy area.
Okay.
Had you been down there recently?
Yes, ma'am.
And when was that?
The day before,
Would that be the 9th?
the 9th,
Okay. Who were you with? Why did you go?
Josh Gowker and I went for a walk. We went down into the ditch and stood down there and smoked. We came back up after he suggested that we get out of there as soon as possible because there were some adults walking through, and Gowker mentioned the violence at the school bus, them kids, those adults who was creating problems for the neighborhood kids. He started a conversation along the lines of, it's not safe for you to be here. If something happens, just run home.
Okay. So you all had been down there on May 9th?
Mhm.
Okay. And what, do you know what you all were smoking down there?
Yes, ma'am. White Owl, White Grape
And what is that?
is a cigarillo.
Did you know Trey to ever go to the ditch bank by himself at night?
No, ma'am.
After May 11th, after Trey was found, what happened between you and Gowker? What was your life like at that point?
After we have discovered that Trey died, Gowker stayed pretty much by my side, tried to help me in any way. He would answer my phone for me, bring me something to drink. He played the role of a supporting husband.
Was there an issue with your voicemail?
Yes, ma'am. At one point, he had all my voicemails transferred to his phone so that I would not receive any voicemails. I wouldn't even know that I had any. They would go directly to his phone.
And can you describe for the jury some of his behavior towards you and the extent of the freedom he allowed you?
He started becoming a lot more overprotective, friends would come by to check on me, see how things were going, if they could help me in any way, he would answer the door and run them off. He would tell some people that they weren't welcome back ever again. If I went to the restroom with my telephone, he would open up the door and suggest that I was making phone calls that would be offensive to him. He didn't want me taking a shower with the door closed. He wanted to be present the entire time.
Did he allow you to be alone at all?
Never.
Did he allow any doors to be locked in your
No.
household?
No doors in the house could be locked. He wanted full access to anywhere that he wanted to be.
Was Josh Young around during this period?
No, ma'am.
Where was he staying, as far as you knew?
He was still at 1360 Vim Drive.
Was Gallagher pretty much full-time at 1356?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see Josh Young?
Occasionally, he would come over for something cold to drink. I remember one time he came over, he had a headache. I gave him some aspirin and let him lay down in the darker room, let his headache ease up.
At some point, did you decide to leave Gallagher?
Yes, ma'am. After his personality became very overprotective, overbearing, I asked him to leave. I packed as much as I could in a bag. I checked out the back door to his back door. Nobody was out there. So I put the bag in my car and I fled. I went to Shepherdsville where my mother stayed.
What date was that?
May 30th.
Did you, in fact, take out an EPO?
I did.
What, do you remember between May 11th and May, did you say May 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
Between May 11th and May 30th, at what point did you change your opinion about Josh Gallagher?
Detective Russ came to my home and had Gallagher leave. We had conversations. It helped trigger memories, conversations that I've had with Gallagher.
Was this on May 15th?
Yes, ma'am. I questioned Josh Gallagher once about if there was any possibility that he got out of the bed that night and not woke me up. He became extremely angry that I would doubt him. And there was other incidents where after Trey had died, I locked his room and I took to my bedroom his pillow and some clothes that still smelled like him. And then he said something
Who was he?
Josh Gallagher told me not to bring my dead son to bed with me every night. So that was another extremely alarming situation that caused a lot of doubt in his story.
Would you say, when you were first talking to Detective Russ on May 15th, what were your feelings about Gallagher prior to that conversation being over?
I struggle with thinking that somebody who lies down with me and says that they love me, someone who claimed to stand up for my son at the bus stop with the neighborhood bullies, I struggle with the ideal that he could do such a heinous thing. But as days passed, behaviors changed, and my opinion as well changed.
During May 10th to May 11th, did you ever go down to the ditch bank that night?
No,
That night, did you know anything about Trey's murder?
no.
I have no further questions right now, but I'm sure the school will ask you some.
Cross-examination.
Your Honor, I have a lot of materials, and I'd like to move the podium and also move the microphone so I get picked up if that's all right with the court.
All right. Is the, okay. That's going to work. What was the other one you wanted to do? One was a podium, two was,
I'm going to move this microphone up so everybody can hear the questions.
okay.
Just,
I don't know if the leash on that microphone's long enough.
that's as far as it goes. That might be close enough.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
You can leave that. I'm going to ask you some questions about your testimony. Okay?
Okay,
Do you mind if I call you Amanda?
that's fine.
Sorry for the loss of yours.
Thank you.
I need to ask you some questions about your history with Gallagher.
Okay.
You may mention the fact that you were married to Gallagher for a short time before you went to prison.
Yes.
Will you do me this favor? Will you pull that microphone down just a little bit? There you go. Thank you.
You also made mention of an incident where Gallagher was very violent with you at a motel,
Yes.
and he hurt you.
He didn't physically hurt me. He attempted.
To kill you.
No, he attempted to hurt me, to restrain me.
He didn't try to push you over a fence.
No, he did not try to push me.
During your relationship with him, is it your testimony that he was never physically abusive to you?
He was.
He was.
Yes.
He would hit you.
No, he did not hit me. He would grab me and push me.
And you would fight with him?
I would push and grab back.
You would try to protect yourself?
Yes.
And that made you pretty miserable?
Yes.
And eventually you found out that you just couldn't live with him?
Yes.
It was good riddance when he went to prison?
Yes. I'm sorry, sir. Are we talking about in the past or the present? Or
Before he went to prison?
yes.
So you knew he was bad news
Yes.
when he went to prison? And did you ever think that you would get back in a relationship with him?
No.
He went to prison, you never communicated with him.
No.
The only communication you had with him concerned divorce papers,
That's correct.
and you learned that he had never actually filed the divorce papers,
After he was released.
but you thought that you were in fact divorced.
Yes.
Did you keep track of when he was going to be released from prison?
No.
When you first saw him at McDonald's that day, he walked in unexpected to you.
That's incorrect. He called me on the telephone.
So you knew he was going to come up.
He did not come up. He contacted me on the telephone.
Did he say he wanted to get together with you?
I agreed to that.
Did you think at that time you were going to have a discussion about getting back together?
No.
But somehow he persuaded you to get back together?
Yes.
So you had meetings with him?
Yes.
And this was in October of 2010?
Or sometime around the fall.
Was it within a week after he got out of prison?
Yes.
And were you made aware of where he was supposed to be staying?
Yes.
You know, his aunt, Patsy May?
Yes.
And he stayed with her for a couple of days?
It was longer than a couple of days.
How many days do you think it was?
I'm not aware. That was his permanent resident according to Perot.
When you're on parole, does the parole officer need to know where a parolee is living?
Yes.
And Patsy May was the address where he was supposed to be living.
That's correct.
You knew Gallagher's probation or parole officer, Matt Hayes?
No.
You never talked to him?
I made contact, attempted to contact him over phone after he was on the run.
Okay, but back in the fall, you never made any contact with him?
No.
You knew when Gallagher was staying with you that he was not living the place where he was supposed to be?
He did have his parole transferred to my address. A new parole officer came to my home and approved it. No,
Was it in the fall?
I do not remember.
Don't know.
I do not remember the timeline.
You knew that Gowker was trying to get Joshua Young in his custody.
Yes,
You were aware that he was going to classes.
yes,
You were aware that he was getting visitation that was supervised.
yes,
Did you ask Gowker questions about getting his custody of his son? Did you all
Yes.
talk about it?
yes,
Was it your understanding that Joshua Young was going to be living with you?
yes,
And you agreed to that?
yes,
You know that Joshua Young had a social worker.
yes,
It was Allison Miller.
yes,
You know Allison.
yes,
And you talked to her.
yes,
Because she had to come to your house,
yes.
and she had to make sure that everything was okay.
That's right.
Because Joshua was supposed to be living at your house.
That's correct.
So I heard you say that Joshua only lived at your house for 1 or 2 days.
That's correct.
You said you have a room with a tanning bed in it?
Yes.
That's a bedroom.
It is.
It can be used as a spare bedroom?
Yes.
Was that used as a dummy room?
No.
Did you talk to Allison, and was that set up and portrayed as his room when she made a visit?
No.
You never did that?
Never.
Told Allison that?
No.
Were you concerned that Joshua Young was not living where he was supposed to be living?
It was his father's responsibility?
I didn't ask about his father, I asked about you. Were you concerned?
No.
So you didn't feel any obligation to call Allison Miller or the cabinet and say, this young man is supposed to be living with me, and he's not?
No.
Did you ever make any telephone calls to Allison Miller or anybody that worked for CPS to talk about any situation that was going on in your house?
No.
I would like to show you a couple of pictures. Ask you if you recognize them. May I approach? I'm sorry. First night of Christmas Eve. The kids come. Could you look at these, please? And
We're marking those defense 1 and 2?
yes, I already have, Your Honor, for identification purposes only. Do you see, let me start with Defense Exhibit number 1 and ask you what that is. It's a picture of where?
It's my living room, Christmas Eve.
So you recognize that picture?
Yes.
Does that picture clearly and accurately reflect what you saw on Christmas Eve?
Yes.
Is that another picture as well?
Yes, it
Exhibit
is.
number 2? And when is that, please?
That's Josh and Trey playing video games.
When?
Christmas Eve.
At your house?
Yes.
Move to publish and introduce into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
Introduce defense 1 and 2. You may publish them.
Jury hasn't seen this.
I'm not positive. Give me a minute here.
Thank you.
That's coming out of what box? Table.
That's my computer.
It looks like B.
B, the HDMI. Golly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and the young person on the right is Joshua Young. Ma'am?
Yes.
And the person on the left is
My
your
son.
son, Trey.
Yes.
And they're in the living room?
Yes.
Is that the same sofa that we've seen in other pictures?
Yes.
And it's right by the front door?
Yes.
And Trey's holding something in his hand?
Remote control.
Is he playing a video game?
Yes.
Did Trey like to play video games?
Yes.
Did Joshua Young like to play video games?
Yes. Yes.
And another picture, that's Exhibit 2. What is the date that this occurred?
I believe it's Christmas Eve.
of 2010?
Yes.
And that was the first time that Joshua Young was at your house?
I'm not aware. I don't remember the first time he came.
Excuse me. So what you're telling the ladies and gentlemen of the jury is Gowker has moved in with you? Yes?
Yes.
And he got custody of his son?
I'm not sure when he got custody of his son.
He got custody, though, at some time?
Yes. He had temporary.
And he had visitation?
Yes.
And you've seen pictures of Joshua Young at your house on Christmas Eve?
Yes.
Is that a vivid memory for you, that Christmas Eve?
I remember Christmas Eve
Is it
well.
a good memory for you?
Yes.
Is it a good memory for you?
Yes.
Were you all celebrating Christmas Eve together?
Yes. Along with many other people.
Was Cindy Gunther there?
Yes.
And Cindy Gunther, did spend a lot of time with you?
No.
Was she in your house in the winter and spring of 2011?
She had maybe visited twice.
She was with you during the time of Trey's death. Was she not?
I don't recall.
You don't recall her caring for you,
No.
comforting you?
I don't remember. There was a very, very dramatic time for me. I do not recall how many hugs and who all hugged me that day.
I didn't ask you that.
I don't remember if Cindy was the one of the many people who visited me.
So are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that your memory of events that occurred at the time of Trey's death is not good?
No, I'm not saying that.
Just selective things are not good? Selected pieces of information you can't remember?
I don't remember every single person who visited me. That's what I'm saying.
And Cindy wasn't significant of a person in your life that you would remember her giving you comfort?
That's correct.
Do you remember her being at the funeral?
No.
Do you remember her being at the visitation?
No.
You told Detective Russ that you've been in abusive relationships with men in the past. Have you not?
I don't remember. I don't remember if I told Detective Russ I've been in.
Have you been?
I've had domestic violence in my life.
In addition to Mr. Gowker?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mackenzie's father?
Yes.
Objection to relevance,
Come up.
unless you agree that you're wrong.
Is it your testimony that in December of 2010, the relationship you were having with Joshua Gowker was a good one?
No.
Were you having fights or arguments with him in December of 2010?
The first fight we had was in December of 2010. That's when he grabbed me after making a phone call to me accidentally, and I overheard him saying things that was unpleasant to me.
Well, let me see if I can clarify on the timeline here. The date that I have is January 10th, 2011, and I'm going to ask you if on that date that Mr. Gowker was away from home and somehow his telephone called you, it was in his pocket, and you overheard a conversation. Does that sound familiar to you? Is that
You
what
have the
we're talking
dates
about?
incorrect.
Okay, so you don't think it's in, if it's in a CPS record as January the 10th, you think
Then the
that
date
might
is
be
incorrect.
Okay, what is the date that you remember?
In December,
December the...
I don't know the exact date.
was
In
it-
December is when he made the accidental phone call to me.
Okay, and you overheard a conversation with Cassie that that Gowker said Amanda was expendable,
Yes.
and I assume that you were concerned about that?
Yes.
You were frightened about it?
No, I was assuming that it meant the relationship was not important at the time I was pregnant.
You didn't understand that to mean expendable, like to be thrown away or to be harmed in any way? You
No.
didn't interpret it as that?
No, I did not.
And how many minutes or hours or days did you confront Gowker when you heard that?
From the time it takes to get from Taylorsville Road to get to Vim Drive, after he returned to my home to return the phone to my son, I confronted him on the conversation.
And you confronted him with yelling,
No,
pushing?
no. We had a conversation. He got a little bit aggravated, irate. That's when he began to change. He grabbed my arm to set me down to make me understand his side of the conversation. I didn't want to hear it. I tried to flee that room that he was in. It escalated to him pushing a door in.
Broke a door?
Yeah, broke the hinge on the door,
Which one? Which door?
the bedroom door.
And was Mackenzie home when this was going on?
No,
And you became angry with him because of that?
yes,
And you you decided to terminate your pregnancy on January 11th.
yes.
Did you keep that a secret from Gowker?
No, I did not.
Gowker knew you were pregnant,
Yes,
and he had an ultrasound of the baby that he
Yes.
carried around with him. And did he show it to everybody in the neighborhood?
no, I'm not aware.
Did he show it to anybody in your house?
I'm not aware.
Did he talk about the fact that he was going to be a father?
No,
So you never heard him talk about it at all?
I don't recall him telling anybody because it was too early.
But he had an ultrasound, right?
Yes,
And you do know he carried that around with him. At some point in time, did Gowker become aggravated about the abortion?
yes, he wanted the child.
And was there physical violence then?
I don't understand your question.
Was there physical violence involving when he found out that there was an abortion?
No, sir. There was a conversation prior. I expected half of the money from him for it.
Do you remember hearing, after Trey had died, hearing the statement that he didn't want you to grieve for Trey,
No, I did not hear that.
or because that he had, because his child had been killed too? You never said that. You never heard anybody say that.
I did not see that or hear that. I've heard similar, but not that.
Did you ever hear him say an eye for an eye?
Let a movie approach.
Yes, come on.
So after the argument that you had with Gowker, you kicked him out of the house,
Yes.
and was that on February the 11th?
No, it was back in December before the abortion. During the argument, I asked him to leave, and he left.
Tell me again when it was?
In December, during the argument.
Thank you.
Let me talk about the evening of May the 10th. You remember what day that is?
Yes.
What day is
That was the day we had the cookout where my brother and the other neighborhood members played ball in my house.
it? What day of the week was it?
Tuesday, I believe, or Monday.
And your memory of that is pretty clear?
Mostly.
Not perfect.
It's been over 2 years.
This was a pretty tragic day in your life.
Yes.
You worked at McDonald's for a number of years.
Yes.
You decided that you were going to quit your job on Monday.
Yes.
You were a breadwinner for the family.
Yes.
You brought the check home.
Yes.
Gapper's work was pretty spotty. Get the
Yes.
call. And you came home, you didn't tell him you were going to quit?
Like I said earlier, we had the conversation while I was still at work, and he said that he would help me and help support the bills.
You didn't, in advance, you didn't talk about it, you went to work and just quit? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the responsibilities and the stress of my job, and with Gowker calling all the time, becoming an overwhelmed person, I quit.
All I'm asking you is, you talked to him when you were at McDonald's on Monday?
Yes.
And that's when, that was the first time that he knew you were going to quit?
Yes.
And apparently you knew that you were going to have some financial problems because there would be no income.
Exactly.
And you were having financial problems anyway.
Correct.
You had a judgment against you,
Yes.
and your wages were being garnished,
Yes.
and you were losing your house.
Yes.
And you were trying to take care of your kids
Yes.
and protect them.
Yes.
So that was a huge load on you.
Yes.
And your statement is then, after you quit your job, there was never any argument with Gowker about you quitting your job and the loss of income?
No.
There was an argument.
There was not an argument between us and my loss of income.
And Gowker said that he was going to take care of you,
Yes.
and that he was going to find the money some way to take care of you.
He said he would help. He didn't say how. He said he would do the best that he could.
Did you believe that he was in a position where he could take care of you?
No.
that particular point in time, were you thinking about putting him out?
He wasn't there full time anyways. He was in my life for 2 days. Back in my life for 2 days.
Okay, so it's your testimony that between January the 1st and the end of June of 2011, he was only living at your house for 2 days?
The last 2 days before Trey died, he spent the night. Before that, he may have spent the night 1 or 2 days here and there again, but no, he was not a resident of my home.
He did have dirty clothes at your house?
So did Cassie. So did John.
I'm just asking you about him.
If you spend the night,
Did he?
yes.
Okay. Did he have personal items like toiletries, etc. in
No.
the house? He didn't have a toothbrush?
No,
He didn't have a razor?
no,
He didn't have anything like that?
no.
Okay. And so in the winter and spring of 2011, did you view him as your significant other,
Off and on.
even though he was living with another woman?
The other woman was his cousin.
And he was involved with her, wasn't he?
I don't know. I've heard rumors. I don't know the truth.
You never...
I never heard the rumors until after my son died.
And you weren't jealous of Cassie?
No, not at all.
Did Gacker call you every day?
Yes.
Did you call him every day?
No.
Did you call him every other day?
No.
Was all the conversation one way between him and you?
Mostly. Not every single time.
When you got calls from him, were you glad to hear from him?
No.
Did you want him gone out of your life?
Yes, mostly.
But part of you wanted to keep bringing him back?
Sometimes.
Was you weren't having a relationship with anybody else at that time, were you?
No.
You enjoyed certain things about him?
Sure.
You enjoyed his personality?
No.
You enjoyed his sex?
Sometimes.
Was he ever abusive to you sexually?
No.
You heard testimony, or we heard testimony about the night that Trey died, that you had sex with him on 2 occasions that night,
Yes.
and that supposedly he made a video of that?
Yes.
And did he use a foreign object
No.
to have sex?
No.
When you had the cookout, did you have leftovers?
Yes.
And you telling the jury that it's not unusual for you to have a cookout at your house on Vin Drive during this time? Wasn't unusual for you to?
Before what time?
Well, you had a cookout the day before,
Yes.
and you had a cookout on Sunday,
Yes.
and you've had other cookouts in the spring
Yes.
when it's nice weather. You'd like to have a cookout,
Yes.
and sometimes you have leftovers. I
Yes.
guess. And that would be a good excuse to have a cookout, right?
What would be a good excuse? For leftovers?
When you had leftovers and have friends over and heat them up and have a cookout?
I don't understand your line of questioning.
You had extra food in the house.
That was a normal thing after having dinner.
So you would have cookouts and you would serve leftovers to people.
No, I did not serve leftovers to people. The leftovers would go into the refrigerator for the kids or whoever needed something else to eat later on in the day.
Okay, can you tell me, your memory was pretty good about what you fixed for the cookout on the 10th, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury every item of food that was prepared?
No, not every single item.
What do you remember preparing?
Hamburgers and hot dogs, corn.
What
There was
else?
chips.
Watermelon?
No, I didn't make any. I didn't cut any watermelon.
Okay, I want to, mention was made about an interview you had with Detective Russ back on May the 19th, at 19:08 hours, which was
7.
in the evening.
Mhm.
And do you remember that?
I remember Detective Russ coming over a couple of times.
Do you remember that interview when he came over with Detective Stalvey?
Yes.
Do you remember that Gauker was there?
Yes.
You remember that Gauker was asked to leave,
Yes.
and he was told not to come back until the police car was gone.
Yes.
You can actually remember that conversation.
I remember those moments.
And the purpose of the interview was to find out if you had additional information about the circumstances surrounding Trey's death.
Yes.
And you tried to be as honest as possible about the information that you knew.
Yes.
And you were asked challenging questions by the detectives? Did you feel pressured or
No.
contradicted or anything like that?
No.
Do you remember when Detective Russ was asking you about your relationship with Big Josh? Because he had heard that it could get physical sometimes.
I don't remember every single question or the line of question, or I don't remember exactly what was asked or what I responded to. I would have to look at the transcripts like you.
Did you tell Detective Russ that you all had a very passionate relationship?
I don't remember.
Did you say that when the relationship
Let's
was...
approach, please. And we need to,
Copy the transcript.
yeah, we need to make sure she's going. Okay, thank you.
Okay, what I've handed you is a copy of a transcript that was made from that particular interview. And I know it's pretty lengthy.
Does it have pagination on it? Okay.
That's right.
Didn't. Mr. Shirley, did you say what page yet?
I'm getting ready to ask her about 1022. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
What
Can
is
you give the
10?
page of the transcript, the top?
22.
top
Okay, page
so she
14.
has it
I'm
also?
sorry.
Page
She's got
14?
the same thing you've got.
Well, ours doesn't have a stamp.
It's from just,
We need the transcript number, 14 of 77, thank you.
Page 14 of 77. Do you remember when you were talking about your job and Detective Russ asking you if Josh wanted you to quit your job, and you said no, it was my decision?
Your Honor, I'm going to
Hey,
object.
Gallagher?
This was not something that she denied. Can we approach?
Yes, come up.
Is it true that Trey and Josh Young got along well?
No.
Were you ever asked the question by Detective Russ whether you got along well?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Judge, can you approach?
Yes. Can we scooch the podium out of the way so the jury can get out, please? Thank you. Jury's out of the courtroom. 10-minute recess.
Thank you.